Hello, OJ here. So, I have gotten a lot of requests from people who wanted to know more about strategy in depth and which dice to place when, and just generally how you know what to do and when to do it. So, I'm gonna take you into this spreadsheet, and we're gonna make a deck. Alright, and now I'm gonna start with the deck that I use right now, because I can explain to you everything with that deck. Now I can play a few different decks, but this is the one that right now does really well for me. I haven't seen anyone play it the way that I play it, so I do want to show you now. So I took you into my deck building guide, which was a link that later in at the end of the video. But I wanted to talk more about tactics now and what to place when. Okay, so if this is our deck, okay, so we have a sniper, shield, invincible, and light, and electric. And now this is our layout. And now this is a league match, because right now battles is the battle meta. So a quick thing. Now, let's say right now I'm at like 1500 rank, right? I'm like 1530 or something. And it gets harder the higher you go. Now, if there are not many people with this rank and they're all around 1200, then if I play against people with this ranking, I will lose more and win less because I'm supposed to beat them. Same if you're in chess, like the ELO system. If you play against higher ELO people, like if you're like 1000 and you play against only 1500s, then you win a lot more, right? And you don't lose almost anything. Now, okay. So for me right now, I'm just going back and forth in between like top 30 and top 10 or top 5 sometimes, but it's really hard. Now I'm gonna explain to you how this deck that I came up with works. Now I've seen this deck used by different people, and it varies sometimes. And you see, like, sometimes you see this deck like this. This is also very common. Now they both work. Good evil is obviously always like this dice that changes its whatever it does, like every dot count. So 2 dot and 4 dot count, it's a shield and taunts you, and that's super annoying when you don't get it. And RNG, this is better, but it's more RNG dependent. This is maybe slightly worse. It depends on the situation. There are still people at like 1300 rank who sometimes put all their dice together, and then obviously Electric just gets a lot of value. Other than that, Electric is one of the dice that is best used to bypass the invincibility threshold. Now, okay, let's start. Now, let's say you have this deck, okay, and you have round 1. Or let's just say, first of all, I'm going to explain to you how the late game setup of my decks looks like, and why... Wait, what happened? Sorry. And why I do the things and why I place them like this. So, this is the only dice that you need, okay? These are the only dice that you need to place that do damage or buff. The rest is just shield and invincible dice. Now, that depends on the situation, of course, but right now, for the most part, this is all you need. Now, why? Okay, so this sniper can reach everything except for the last 2 rows. So this is our clear up sniper. So you have to think, everything that your opponent places in any of these squares will die at the end of the round, because this guy will make sure he dies. Now, these dice, I have these as protecting the vicinity. Now, so let's say they have a lot of dice here, right? A lot of shields, like in here and in here. This dice will get rid of it super fast. Even if they'd have something like this right in front of your face, okay? The Electric hits all 4 of these at the same time, and it has chances to deal even more damage if it chains like this, and this. And then the invincible dice dies way faster, and if it dies first, then all these don't even get the invincibility proc off. Now, Okay, so this is the build. Now you have to understand why you're building this, okay? So you want a long range and a short range. Now normally people, I built like a similar build with this. It's almost the same, okay? It might work something like this, okay? But again, if they have a lot of invincible and shield dice in late game, this bypasses it super fast. It clears the whole board really quickly. Now why do I have it like this? Now first of all, I can destroy this and this, like these 4 squares and these 4 squares, with this electric, right? It's the first one that I can reach. These 2 it can reach, and then this one can reach these 2 and these 4, which is all that I need. These are the dice that are dangerous to me. Now that means whatever is in here or in here, these dice, or this one, this sniper will clear. So this sniper is your big boy, your main boy, okay? This guy is gonna do the most of the work for you. So getting a few pips into him early is super important. And these are also important, but more situational. But this guy is this guy is good in every situation. Like, you always want this. Now, as a general rule of thumb, you want to leave the light dice on 1 pip. Pipping up light dice is almost a waste. So just get these pip 1 and never touch them again. Maybe if you have like no other option, it's just really bad, then okay, make them 2 pip, but I would never touch these. Once you place them, they do 95% efficiency, and you only by leveling them up you get the last 5%. Like, what the hell's the point? So think of it like that. Okay, now as for the other stuff, you're gonna want to like delay them. Now this is just potential, okay? You can place stuff like this. Obviously these 6 dice are the most important, because they protect everything. Now this still delays, okay? This will delay the people shooting at your invincible dice from here, and also whatever is in here will also attack this. And this, same goes for here. This is your weakest spot, okay? So if somebody, let's say, has this pip 7, boom, in here, this is your weak spot, because in order to get to this, you have to clear this and this and this, because your sniper won't attack this before everything here is cleared, right? So this guy only has to clear this, and boom, he's got his free shot here. Boom, boom, and then you lose. And that's why this corner comes in handy. But you need to know when to place the dice that need to be placed in, like, depending on your opponent. And this is not like, I can't make a general rule. This comes with experience and with some of your own brain power. But in general, this is what you'd place, okay? So this is, let's say at the end of the day, your opponent has 8 in here, because you only have 7 and 4, right? So you only have, 3 and 4. You only have 7 squares. So your opponent, if he has 7 in here too, he's gonna place 1 more in here. At the end of the round, you can't reach these, and he clears the whole board and he wins. So you can decide if you wanted to also now sneak in another one in here with 2 light dice. That way they're still not connected, and all of these have to focus him, this shield. All of these dice have to focus this shield, and all of these have to focus this shield. So you got a lot of leeway. But this is a super late game thing if you want to reach first place instead of like second. Okay, so you almost never have to build this corner. Like, trust me. You're almost always building this, and probably most of the times you're still building this. Okay, like so. At least like this. And then if this corner annoys you, then you put 1 more here, and that's it. And maybe you put 1 shield in here, just a 1 shield, to delay this even a few more seconds, or split seconds, because every second matters at the end of the day. Now, if this is going to be your late game setup, we can put these back in just to give you an idea. Now, how do you go around reaching this? So I'm gonna have different rounds illustrated. So let's say in round 1. Now round 1, super important. The most important thing you can place down is your sniper, right? Now everything that is here can be focused, so just not these 2 squares. But now we want to protect him, and obviously if you can, I would get a 2 pip, but not a 3 pip. This depends. I think a 2 pip is like a sweet spot. A 3 pip might work, and if you're super lucky and you know exactly where your opponent's going to place, again, that is experience, I can't tell you that. But there are many decks out there, and I can give you a rough estimate. Like, if you're playing against a Holy Arrow deck, chances are, oops, no, I just messed that up. Chances are, he'll put his Holy Arrow here and here. That's the common thing. Or if he'll play a a good evil deck, he's gonna either put his good evil in here, or I've seen people put them in here, or put them in here. Okay, so you know, like wherever they are, I've seen them in here too. But all you have to know is you want to protect it roughly. Now, super important is a light dice. Now, a 1 pip light dice already buffs you by like 30 or 40 attack speed. So having 1 or 2 is not a bad thing. So let's say you have 1 pip in here, a 2 pip sniper. Okay, so actually, yeah, so like 1 light and then 2 sniper. Okay, that's fine. And then you can, if you have to use them electric, like you never want invincible dice on round 1. A shield dice is good. You can place one right here, or if you're really not sure where he's gonna put it, you can also do it here or here. But my go-to is always this. It's always this, because even if he has dice in here, I can still use them electric as coverage. So let's say you're forced to take one. I don't want you to take like a perfect board. So let's just do it like this. So you have 1 melee and 1 shield. Okay. So this is roughly, as long as you don't ever get an invincible dice, you're good. Just don't take one. You don't need it in round 1 or 2. It's almost useless in round 1, and it's a bit less useless in round 2, but it's still it's just not as good as in like round 3 and 4 and etc. Now, so let's copy this into round 2. Now this is obviously just a general guideline. You have to always adapt, and this depends. But I cannot, like, I have to make like a collage of edits where I play against different people, and that's a lot of effort. Now, I might do that, but then again, in a few days there will be a new patch and new balance changes, and then I did all this for nothing. So right now, just follow this guide, and you're gonna get to Pro Tier 9 easily, and probably even high ranks, since I'm using this at like top 10 in the world. So just, yeah. Now, so you have this, okay? Now let's add to this. So let me just copy this and leave one more space for, let me just do this. Invincible. You get the point. Invincible. It is what it is. Okay. Now let's put this in here. Okay, so this is what we have. Now, let's say we obviously want to finish our light. So getting 2 light is easy in round 2. Just boom. So that we have 4 left. Now I want to pip this to 3 or even 4. That's good. Depending on where your opponent is, a secondary attacker, like in here, well, nope, like in here, will also be useful. So let's say you have 1, 2, 3. Okay? So now we have a 3 sniper. What am I doing? A 3 sniper and a 1 pip sniper. Okay, now that's 4, that's 2 more, and then we have another light. So we have 1 light plus 1 light. And let's say you're forced to take him electric. So you have a 2 pip electric now. And now you want to, you know what, let's say you're forced to take another electric in here. So now you have 2 Melic plus 1 Melic. I don't want to make perfect rounds. So we have, does this do 10? 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 10. Now this is 10. So this is round 2. Okay, so round 2, we're still set up with our 1 shield. Now, obviously, now you know where your opponent's placing. So if your opponent has dice in here, you obviously want to say, well, I don't need this. I don't need the Melic and the sniper up here. I'd rather have a shield. Boom. Then your board changes and you take away 1 sniper, you put a shield in there. Right? That's the first thing you want to do, is always look where your opponent is. Can I protect against it? No? Well, then I should protect against it. Can I out DPS it? No? Well, then I should out DPS it. Like, you have to kind of adapt. And from round 2, it's kind of always like, you either level up your carry dice if your shield situation is good. Let's say now it's round 3. And we're going to copy this entire thing. Now I'm going to do this in my head. Now, so now I'm going to add 1 more light in here. And now we're going to pip this up once or twice. Now this is a 5 pip or something. Yeah, 5 pip. And then we're going to add 2 more dice, which will be this. And I'm going to grab an invincible. Okay. So now your opponent has dice in here and then in here, and that's all he has. He's got like this weird connectivity thing going on. Like, so he's got like these two connected for some reason. Many people do that. So these 8 are his carry dice squares. And everything else from him is shields. Okay? That means in round 4, you'd be stupid to finish your shields down here, right? And here, because you don't need them. Well, actually, here it might be okay. You could do something like this, you know, just to protect. But nothing else matters. Like, so I would invest everything in this round into Melex. Maybe this one, because this one gets both. So you get a lot of value. So just take every single Melek upgrade you get into this. Light, don't touch it. Before you touch light, put the money into your invincible dice. If you level up invincible dice, not only does the health go up, but the duration goes up. So these guys last longer, and this guy lasts longer, okay? That means, let's say that they now focus your shield, and now it takes longer to kill your shield. Now they focus this shield, and it takes longer to kill this shield. But now this guy still has like 3,000 health left because like a pip 4. So now they have to focus this guy for ages. And the best part is, you just had to put money into your Melek or this, and you win the round. And you already have it pre-built. Now, of course, now if the next person in round 5, you know, has all his invincible dice in here. I mean, what am I talking about? Has all his carry dice in here and in here. Then now you need to build 3 more dice ASAP. And you need to work on these 2. Okay? That's just how it works. So if in any round you already know, okay, well, I win this round. Like, I know that I'm going to win. I don't need to put another point into Melek. It's already gone. Like, you can tell by experience sometimes. Then you can already start building towards different opponents. And this is where I always say, look at the first 8 opponents when you go into the lobby. Look at them and look what they're playing. And know how many snipers there are, know how many explosives there are, know how many good evils there are. Just know these. If you don't know how to do that, I don't know. If you have bad memory, then just take a photo of it and put it next to you. Like, if you're tryharding, then get a second phone or get a camera or something and just record the screen or take a photo of the screen when you see the lobby decks and already know. Like, if you want to really reach a high rank in this game, then these are things you have to do. You have to sweat like that. And it's, yeah, that's what I do. And I kind of, you know, I always play around. And, yeah, so, anyway. I hope this helps a lot. Now, I can't teach you how to adapt to your opponent. Like, that happens on the spot. But basically, if you have a guide for a deck and you already have like these rounds set up and you know why they're set up the way they're set up. Like, if you have to get close range damage, put points into Melek and into shield and into invincible. And if you have to go for the range and you can now, let's say you know that your opponent in round 2 has this in here. Okay, but the other way around. So, like, you know, okay, like this. Okay, let's just say this happens. Then you're like, okay, well, he can only reach this, and I can only reach these. Nothing. So let's say he has this going on. Okay? Now you know, even at the end of the day, and if he has another shield in here, or in here, and in here, you know at the end of the day, if your build looks like this, okay, this is unfair because you don't have this in round 2, but whatever. Well, you could have this. This is 10 dice, but you know right now, okay, even if I win this, let's say I beat these 2, he's still gonna have 8 that I can reach, and I only have 6. Now, this is where you have to understand, sometimes you take a tactical L, okay? So the only thing you can do now, let's say if these are all 1 pip, is you could place another light in here and connect your shield, because you already connected this. If you haven't taken that shield yet, which makes no sense because this is like the first shield that I always take. It's a super important shield because this blocks from this, and this, and this. This shield blocks everything. let's say you put that shield in here first. Oops. Then you can decide in this game, okay, you know what, this game I'll do this, and then I just, you know, this game's already done, like, or no, you would never put it down here. In a game where you wouldn't put the shield in here, you put the shield in there, so you can put the invincible in here, and then you can put the shield in here, and that's it. That's 3 connected. So yeah, you have to think, because this works the same, but you just don't basically get this. So you can do the same thing, but like that. It works the same. It's the exact same thing, right? You don't connect this, you don't connect this, you don't connect this, you don't connect any of these, and you wouldn't connect any of these if you put, you know, what I've already showed you before, which was this. Like, you wouldn't connect anything. However, now these 2 squares are your dead zones, and if anyone has dice in here that do damage, then they have free power to, they will instantly shit on you. Like, you will lose by default. It's just lost. Like, you don't even have to see, oh, maybe I'm lucky. Like, no, you just lost. If they have dice in here, imagine if they go into a game, like right now, right? Let's say you have this, because you might as well use this, right? So let's say you go into, although if you do this, then you can also just play like this, okay? By the way, because then there's no point in not doing that. Or you could just change these 2. It depends on how you want to play. But if you do this, and your opponent plays against you, and your opponent says, you know what? Hey, I see a mistake in his deck. I can put this right in here. Then, yeah. So I like having a general no weakness deck. Oh, I forgot to finish one, but no, I need to use something like this. Okay, so I like to have a general deck that doesn't have a weak spot, and adapt as I go along. And this works. I never have to play it differently. I never do. Like, I never had that issue, okay? So, where I had to do this other way, you know, like the way that I just showed you. This way. I never had to do that. Because at the end of the day, even if somebody beats you, then you lose 1 health. And it's like, whatever. And if you play against him again, then maybe instead of doing this, hang on, how do I, no. So, then you do what I do, alright? By this time, you should have something like here and here. These are your 2 protective boys. And then you'll do this. Now, you either do this or you do this, depending on which side you want to focus on first. Okay, because if your Melik is like this, then you attack this, and if your Melik is here, then you attack this first. And then you want to just, boom. Now, of course, he will also have a shield, you know, in here. So you're going to attack this first. So you have to know that you're still going to need like a high pip Melik to do something here. And you do have to clear the board decently well. But I'm just saying, there are ways to work around not beating opponents who have all 8 squares filled. Alright. Anyway, I hope that helped you guys, and you now understand how to play this no legendary deck with Melik, because that's what I play, and it's super free to play friendly, because even as a pay to play, you're never gonna get 50,000 coins to level this up from 11 to 12, and leveling it to level 11 is super easy, like super easy. So now you have nothing stopping you from reaching rank 1 on the leaderboards. You know how this deck works, you know what its weaknesses are, you know what its strengths are, you know how to build it, you know how to adapt to opponents, and of course that's what you have to learn for experience, but just keep playing this deck, and the more you play, the more you learn, and every time you lose, understand why you lost, and how you can, you know, why you lost, and how you can make that not happen next time. Anyway, I hope that helped, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Peace.